This week on Reliving the Extreme, we are discussing the episode of ECW from Valentine's Day of 1995, February the 14th. Nate Maxson, your host, here with you, along with my brother Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
And Mr. Chad.
Let's get this straight. This just aired on Valentine's Day.
Yes, it aired on Valentine's Day.
Don't leave these people into believing that Paulie and Todd Romeo Gordon over there open the doors up on Valentine's Day to have this show. Bring your loved ones.
It was definitely a Valentine's Day massacre, though, and we will get into that. There's not a lot to talk about on the show, which is fine. It's a holiday week.
Chocolate-covered ham bones for everyone.
Yeah.
But I had something before we started talking about
the Farm and Roses.
Oh, my.
Thunderbird and Roses.
I was going to say four Locos and Roses.
I'll just still drink natural light.
Before we start talking about the ECW show, a friend of mine, Josh, props to Josh, gave me an idea. He listens to the show, and he said, you know what you guys should do? You should cast a movie about ECW, because we were talking about the Von Erich movie. And he said, you guys should cast a movie about ECW. And I was like, oh, well, that would be fun. But I didn't want to. It could be a whole hour if you cast everybody. So I picked some names, and if you guys will indulge me, let's cast a movie about ECW.
What, you pick some names of people from ECW, or like some?
Yes, I picked the names of people from ECW, and we'll see who you guys think would play said characters from ECW.
Oh, I got you. Not taking ECW people and making them.
No. We're making them.
I'm thinking, you know what? Gilbert Gottfried is Joe Gertner. Enough said right there. That movie's cast. If you got the time. And it just sounds great too. Gilbert Buds of Steel. Gertner.
Beautiful. So I already have a guy in mind for this first one. We're making a movie about ECW. Who are you guys casting to play Paulie?
Paul Giamatti. Is that a real person?
Yeah, it's the guy from
Private Parts.
The guy, from Private Parts. He was also in that wine movie. I forget called
Private Parts. I don't think I've watched it.
Sideways. That's the movie I was thinking.
He played John Adams.
John McAdams?
Not John McAdams. John Adams. One of the founding fathers.
Hey, Vince McMahon.
He's one of the founding fathers of the Stick to Wrestling podcast.
I can see him.
Yeah, I picked Danny DeVito to play Paulie.
Paulie?
Yeah, Danny DeVito is Paulie.
Get the fuck out of here.
He pretty much just gets to dress up like he did as the Penguin in Batman.
He's a little too short.
That's tremendous though. Because I mean, it does have somewhat of a visual to it, because Paul was definitely like the most greatest looking guy in the world. You know what I mean? So you can kind of portray him as that sleazy wrestling promoter who just happens to be a midget.
And it's also fun to also have somebody kind of ridiculous playing him too. So yeah, Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito is Paul Heyman.
And then when he gave the speech like he did, and be like Beyond the Mat, whatever, and he's standing up on the top of the thing, he's standing up on milk crates. Just so he can get above the railing.
So anyway, then I started shooting.
Oh my goodness!
So either Paul Giamatti or Danny DeVito as Paulie Dangerously. Who plays Todd Gordon? Movie about East.
Oof. Man. I mean, I would like one of you guys to go first, because I'm not a big movie guy, so I only know I don't know a whole shit ton of actors.
The actor can be dead. It doesn't matter. This is all for fun.
No, I mean, I don't watch movies, so I don't know actors like who they are, except for I know the basic ones. You know, the guy that played Brad on Fast Time. He's my answer to everything.
I'm trying to think of a guy that's kind of bald headed on top, could grow kind of a beard.
Jim Ignatowski. So who we booking? We still booking who we booking?
Todd Gordon.
Necro Butcher.
It actually works in a weird way.
It does kind of just. You put Necro in a suit, and deep down, Todd wants to be the Necro Butcher. That's what I think.
Playing the part of Todd Gordon, Necro.
That's great.
Who plays Shane Douglas in a movie about ECW?
Probably. That's probably going to be one of them jabronis that are around now.
That's what I was going to say. One of the. Yeah, you get kind of your I guess quote unquote chiseled movie star to play.
I know who it would be if we could pick anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be the heel in the Karate Kid.
Yeah, that would work.
You know, because he's a show off, know it all, douchebag guy that, who actually could work, but at the end of the day, he got beat. So that's who I'm picking.
William Zabka.
Sure.
I was gonna say him or Keith or Sutherland.
Yeah,
Keith or Sutherland can get in shape, like get in Hollywood shape. He could be Shane.
This one's tough. This one's tough because I wrote it down, and I was like, I wrote it down, but I can't think of anybody. So I'm wondering if one of you will. You're casting a movie about ECW. Who plays Taz?
Sherman Hemsley. I'm so sorry, Taz. Yeah.
I'd say you shoot Sherman Helmsley just from underneath, and he could play Ernie Ladd.
or the Haiti Kid.
Moving on up, Mr. Television Announcer.
Taz is a good one, man. Yeah, because it's hard to find somebody built like him.
What about Horatio Sands? Can he do it?
Isn't he a jobber for ECW?
No.
Didn't he team up with Hervé Ernesto?
He's that fat guy from SNL back in like the early 2000s.
Oh, I've never watched an SNL episode. I've never seen one episode. So I've seen enough of it on the stupid shows that they show, but I take pride in the fact that I've never sat down and watched one episode of Saturday Night, or whatever it is. Saturday Night Struggling.
Saturday Night Struggling. Live from New York.
It's Saturday Night I'm Struggling.
I just sent you guys a picture of the Taz. He's on.
Well, I'm not going to open it. I'll wait till we're done. So where are we at now? We're still goofing on Taz.
So, all right. Next up, who plays Tommy Dreamer? The ECW biopic, ladies and gentlemen, playing Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, wow, this is a weird one because you got to pick somebody who's he's got to kind of fill two roles. He's got to be young enough to be vulnerable, but yet grizzled enough to be hardcore. So you know what I mean? It's not like he's coming in as just a guy who's beating everybody with a cane. You know what I mean? Just kind of thing.
Right.
He's still got that baby face side to him that you got to learn how to be Tommy Dreamer, I guess, to do it. So that to me was going to be like a very serious character act.
Trying to think of a naturally bloated actor.
Naturally, yeah. I mean, that's a tough one. Like you could almost go to the John Travolta route.
Oh, that's what I was actually going to say. John Travolta. Him or Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. Michael Richards.
Michael Richards is Bob Ortiz.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if Bob Ortiz is somebody that was even on the list.
No, but he's been cast by as Kramer.
How about the Sandman? Who plays the Sandman in ECW?
Oh, Mickey Rourke.
Yep.
Perfect. Yep.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It make you do it in a minute because they were like, you can do drugs and drink on set. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. With the pay. I just told you.
Plus, I've worked with Necro Butcher before.
Yeah.
The last one I had listed here, and if you guys have anybody else you want to throw out there, we can play for a little bit longer, but who plays Joey Styles?
Oh, man. Again, I'm not a Saturday Night Live guy, but I think there's a guy. Is his name something Davidson?
Pete Davidson?
Nah,
I don't know.
Pete Davidson. I wouldn't do Pete Davidson. I'd say
Ricky Starks.
Two names popped in. Actually, three, but I don't think the other guy can do. I was thinking either John Mulaney, Colin Jost. He's the SNL Weekend Update guy, the white one. And if you could get him to do an English accent or an American accent, Jimmy Carr. One of those three.
Jesus Christ, I don't know who any of them are. Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr actually would work as Joey Styles. Now
Yeah,
that Aaron says
if he can do an American accent.
I was
I'd put
picturing
Jimmy
him in my head. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, he could be Joey Styles.
And even if he can't, who gives a fuck about this movie? I'd be like, just play him British. Fuck it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a hell of a movie. I still say somewhere you got to throw in you got to Hack Myers. Where's he at in the movie?
He's gonna be played by Necro Butcher.
It's
He's like a dual role. He's like Eddie Murphy. Necro Butcher's gonna play like 4 or 5 different people in fucking Nutty Professor.
Of course, the guy that played Carlton plays JT.
Of course.
I'm trying to think.
Anybody else you want to cast, Aaron? And
Danny McBride could play Cactus Jack. He's just got to kind of put his Eastbound and Down mullet back on his mustache, and he's Cactus Jack.
What about Fitz or any of the medics, the husband and wife team that come out all the time and scrape me up? You know who Fitz is? No, she's been there since day one. She did the merchandise, and she's probably the person you see when you walk into the arena and they tear your ticket. And I'm pretty sure she's still doing that, like to this day. And she runs to the airport, and she's one of them people that've been there forever. And I know if you've seen her, and if I showed you a picture of her, you go, "Oh yeah, I see her all the time." You just probably don't know who she is.
something that just came to my mind. Alex Jones plays Bubba Dudley.
Yeah. Craig Robinson. You know who Craig Robinson is, right? He's Mustafa Saeed, and Dave Chappelle's going to play New Jack.
Good Lord.
Said Alex Jones is Bubba Dudley. The fucking dude that played Bubba on fucking Forrest Gump. He's Devon.
Aaron's rolling with this shit. I like it.
Sabu. Who would play Sabu?
The guy from
I'll come back to Sabu.
What's that movie? What's that TV show about the retarded kid, Corky?
Life Goes On.
Yeah, he's Sabu.
and Corky can play the variety kid.
All of them?
Yeah.
Well, it's just one kid, a bunch of baby dolls around them.
Sam Elliott as Terry Funk.
We get all the versions of Funk.
Sam Elliott's Terry Funk
from Roadhouse. From Roadhouse, he has to be that Sam Elliott.
Yeah, I'll think of some more.
Donnie Allen.
He's playing Donnie
Allen. 911.
The guy that played Chris on The Sopranos.
911.
Oh, who's a big fat user?
Well, no, you could cast Tex Cobb as 911.
I think he's dead.
I just said they didn't have to be alive.
Oh, okay.
Like, wasn't he alive like in the 50s?
No, you seen Raising Arizona, right, Chad?
Oh, I thought you meant the IWA, whatever.
Oh no, Tex Cobb.
I only watch wrestling, dude. Don't be talking about no horse shows, whatever. Tex Cobb, when the worldwide leader in technology that IWA was. They had a slow motion. I mean, knocking them dead over there in Canada. Look at us with slow motion. You can take a longer look at how bad our matches are.
You just get 1990s Jay and Silent Bob to play the Public Enemy.
Oh yeah, totally.
Put Jay and Silent Bob in some pajamas, and they can play the Public Enemy.
Just put them in whatever the same outfit they're supposed to be in, because that's what Public Enemy was supposed to be anyway. You can just dress them up either. That's what me and Dino were. Me and Dino were more of Silent Bob and Jay than Public Enemy was, but it's still the same gimmick.
Right.
It's what I mean. It's all the same. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. But yeah, they could have did that. Public Enemy's great. Yeah.
As we go along in the show, maybe we'll think of some more people. Yeah, Aaron definitely will. That's what now that he doesn't have his notes, ladies and gentlemen. So through the whole show, he's just going to be thinking about this movie.
ADHD. If I don't have my notes to look at it, my mind will wander. Like when you think I'm like not paying attention or being quiet, it's because my mind is just other.
Your mind is riddling, right?
Yeah, just go ahead and do your thing, buddy. I'm sure we'll get through this without you. I don't know how, but if me and Nate really concentrate, we could probably pull this together and come out with a fine, passable show. So knock yourself out.
Well, we opened the show on the February 14th episode of ECW with opening with stills of the tag title match that was discussed last week.
Yeah, I think I said my notes. I put, oh, it's stills of the stills from last week.
Dude, exactly. And next week it's going to be drawings of it, and they're going to put it together in a flip book.
Courtroom sketches, yeah.
And they're going to flip the pages together, and then you're going to see the action drawn in the flip book, and then it's going to be on fucking what's that little thing with the little knobs, and you draw the stuff on it, you shake it. Etch a sketch.
Next week we will present the ECW Viewmaster footage of this tag team title match.
I mean, that opening stuff is just it's driving me nuts, man. With them stupid stills and stuff, I hated it. I just hated that whole entire.
Me too, and I guess from a perspective I understand it, because it's like you said last week, Chad. At this point, ECW is starting to get into home video. So that's what they're trying to do with these, because Joey does bring up later on that the whole Double Tables event is available on ECW home video. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell us of the event. And after the video and showing what Benoit did to Sabu after the match, we get a Benoit highlight video, and then a good promo, of course, where he's running down all of the victims of the triple threat so far, and how everybody's tried to come up to them and pretty much been injured.
Yeah, that was a sweet video, that Benoit video.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what song?
It's the WWE. The WWE Network thing made me think of "Smells Like Teen Spirit," but I don't think that was it.
There's no chance it was it.
No. I don't know what it was, but the WWE Network one was fucking.
It's your theme song.
It sounded like
you made it your ringtone.
No, it was fucking terrible, and it sounded like a guy was like having a hard time like jerking it. Like he's like, ugh.
What?
Ugh. And he's like, come on. Ugh.
Wow, I mean, yeah, I'm cool where I hang out at. I don't know what all that is.
Hey Nate, you know the black dude from Scrubs?
Yes.
What? Is it a club?
The show Scrubs. You guys, either one of you watch Scrubs?
Yes.
Of course not.
The black dude from Scrubs, he's playing Too Cold Scorpio.
There it is.
Wasn't he in what's that movie with she's the rich girl?
Yeah, Clueless. He's in Clueless as well.
That guy?
Yeah, that's Too Cold Scorpio.
Theo Huxtable?
Theo Huxtable.
That guy is Scorpio?
No. Malcolm Jamal Warner was not in Clueless or Scrubs. And that Theo Huxtable, I think. Anyway, go ahead.
Young Ray Liotta plays Chris Benoit in the movie.
Oh, okay. Oof. He better get in better shape than when he was in Goodfellas.
We're living in a perfect world here. He's gonna get in great shape.
Now, Mel Gibson is gonna play a young Mel Gibson. Wow.
Jungle Boy.
Big hair. Both rocking the denim.
They're both a lethal weapon.
Yeah.
They're not going by gimmicks they played in previous movies. Oh, Jesus, man. I mean, some of these are really hard because, I'm not a movie person. I'm just trying to think of people that I know. But you're saying Chris Benoit, I'm not going to throw out a Jerry Blackwell.
No, who's playing Peaches? Necro Butcher.
Now, let's cast Jason as.
He liked that.
Jason is going to be playing Peaches, and Disco Inferno is going to play Jason.
I guarantee you, Glenn would take that job because it'd be the first time he's worked in years.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can get away from Russo for a minute. Thank God.
And how about Alfonso?
Steve Buscemi.
I guess. Yeah.
They're both fucked up looking.
Yeah, the little weasels.
Yeah, you got to cast somebody really fucked up looking to play Bonzo.
Paul Rubin.
Yeah, Buscemi or Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried can play everybody. I just like Gilbert Gottfried as Todd, and whoever's playing Paulie, and they're trying to tell Todd how to justify how much money.
And Danny DeVito and Gilbert Gottfried.
No, I want Gilbert
in the pawn
Gottfried.
shop.
I want Gilbert Gottfried to play Hunter Q.
Yeah, but then he'd be in and out and gone. You want him to
be tremendous.
But you got to make him a stronger character than Hunter Q. Robbins. Why don't you just make him Sir Christopher Michaels? For Christ's sake, or one of the executioners.
Oh damn, Chad! Hey Chad, who plays Eddie Gilbert?
Oh damn.
Hunter Q. Robbins.
All right, I don't think so.
Doug. Yes, Doug is Eddie.
Eddie's a good one, man. I mean, I just put on Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Fallon had the Eddie Gilbert look, like the facial hair, but I don't think he's gonna pull that off. That's a tough one, dude. John Tatum, is he still around?
Let's cast Sir Christopher Michael, that stuff Eddie Gilbert, and he plays the whole thing in his Bullwinkle voice.
I think Christopher Michaels is definitely more the John Tatum. He's definitely the John Tatum. He's the Bone. He's the Miller.
Hey Aaron, if we're going way back like that, who's playing Jay Sully? He has to be disheveled and greasy.
Archie? Oh, come on. I thought we squashed that.
No, Archie would actually be the one to play Joel Gertner.
Oh, no.
Oh, I like Archie as Jay Sully.
Oof. Well, you know him. I don't.
After Joey Styles on this show, we've gone off the rails, whatever.
There's still a show.
Joey talks about the double tables match being on home video, and then he talks about how Rocco Rock is in the hospital and the Public Enemy are being quiet right now, and how that is a dangerous thing. But it also means this is the first episode since they debuted in ECW. They're not on ECW. Well, they are in the stills, but they're not actually cutting a promo or anything.
Yeah, the gist I got from it was that they had tried to be in collusion with the Triple Threat to try to help them retain the titles, and the Triple Threat kind of went into business for themselves and ended up beating everybody up, and now they're pissed off about it or whatever.
I don't know. All I got out of it was they didn't know what hospital they were in. How do you not know what hospital they're in? What did Joey Styles just say? Didn't he say hospital?
Yes, he said Rocco was in the hospital, and we haven't heard the Public Enemy. We haven't heard from the public.
Yeah, but they didn't. They when he said they didn't have a location.
Yeah, they were in an unknown hospital.
How many fucking hospitals are there wherever this place was? Are there like 7-Elevens?
It's just a hospital, like a Dollar General. It's just there's a hospital on every corner.
They just pop hospitals.
Can't swing a cat without hitting hospital around here.
Yeah, so I mean, that's classic. Seriously, even if you're doing the whole wrestling gimmick where you don't want anybody to know what hospital they are, if they're in that area, it's going to be one of two hospitals. They have a 50-50 shot of figuring it out. But then, how about you put it under a fake name? That's you have to do the hospital angle.
B-Cat.
That's the best. That's the worst part about that angle in Tennessee is that like they literally had to do that angle and go through with it all the time. I used to hear stories about that, and I'm like, did we really had to go to the hospital? Like, didn't Cornette talk about that shit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did it.
He did it.
I think so. And then Kaufman paid for his own shit. Like he paid for the ambulance.
He paid for the ambulance to show up, and yeah.
hospital stay and all that.
Well, that's a different story. If Kaufman really died, but yeah, that shit's crazy.
Well, then Joey brings in Paul Heyman, Paulie Dangerously, to talk about his new tag team champions. Paulie has an obvious dye job on his hair during this episode. It's now jet black.
Is that because you could see it? That's how you knew it was how it was. He made it, kind of like put it right in the picture.
Yeah, it was painfully obvious. His hair black.
Yeah, it was shiny.
Yeah, you're right. It was like, oh, it's glistening. Look at your black glistening hair, Paulie. But he does cut a great promo talking about Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko.
Yeah, it was good.
As always. And
he's also...
Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
I'm just saying, like, he's also being very conscious of making sure that he's talking about current event type shit. You know, like he brings up like Mark Furman.
Mm-hmm.
Something about Malcolm X that Public Enemy be as welcome as Malcolm X's daughter at Louis Farrakhan's church, and just there's somebody else I can't remember what it was, but
he said the word Rubik's Cube or something. He just started going off, making up all kinds of like mad libs. Yeah, I know what you're saying. He definitely knew he had time to film, and he could go off on he basically went off on like everybody in the division, right?
Yeah.
Like he just ran down like the pros and not even the cons, all the pros of like everybody, like, you know, there, which is a great job. Promoter does.
Exactly. And he is in the unique, great position here of being a manager, quote unquote, on TV, but also being the promoter. So when he cuts the promo, he can get over, you know, he can ramble about things going on in the promotion or what have you to keep your focus on what's going on and be an advertisement.
Yeah, that's what he is. And welcome forward.
And he's also doing like, and I know they talk about ECW being one of the last territories. He's doing a territory thing too, because if you think about it, like with Jason's the manager, and he's the guy that's feuding with people, and he's got people going in and out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's been feuding with Mikey for like a year, but it's been different people he's been throwing at Mikey, and Paulie's got these people he doesn't like, and he's throwing his people. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it's like Blassie throwing guys at Bruno.
Yeah.
Well, we always I was even there back in the days when it was talked about like how they were trying to make it a territory. It was basically the same theory as Cornette, but without like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was going to be like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then probably do taping. Or I don't, you know, I heard that both versions were tapings for Sunday at the arena, but then they realized how bad they drew. They couldn't open the doors up and just let anybody in for free and get anybody. The mice wouldn't even come in to them fucking shows. But yeah, I mean, you know, ACW was in a tough spot, man. Like with their growing pains.
Mm-hmm. The next thing we see on the show is Mikey Whipwreck versus Paul Loria. Of course, Paul Loria has Jason with him. And I thought this was a good match. These two,
it's really good.
We talked about it. The last time they had a match on the show, they worked great together. They came up together, obviously, so they're going to work great together.
I actually think this match was better than their last one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like what I didn't like that I had made note of was the first few minutes of the match was way too plain because they kept almost botching spots,
mm-hmm.
but it didn't stop them from doing what they were going to do. We're going to get through this spot whether how many times I trip over this motherfucker, whatever, you know what I mean? It was one of them spots that I just know that him and fucking Mikey did in the Independence a bazillion times. And it was one of their go-to spots, and it just wasn't on tonight, you know. But after they got into the heat and started doing all that stuff, it was a different match. They went into like working mode.
Yeah. So a question that I wrote down to ask you, Chad, and I always think, okay, when I ask Chad questions about being a worker, because I'm not one, there's the spot in the match where Paul Loria takes the chair and he essentially hits Mikey.
That was in my notes too.
he hits Mikey in the chin.
Oof.
And Mikey's bleeding like at his chin. And it was a weird place for him to bleed from. So my question was for you observing the match, do you think that was unintentional and he got hard weight on that? Like that wasn't supposed to
there's not. Yeah.
I think he was trying to sell it like he was going to hit him in the throat, and he had that chair a little too high. And
I think he was just throwing the. I think he was just throwing the chair at him. that's what I think. I think he was just throwing the chair at him, and he caught Mikey, and when he busted his lip or something, like, yeah, that shit happened all the goddamn time. And you knew it was a shoot because if you follow it after it happened, you see Mikey put his hand up to his mouth to see if it was bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of looked at the referee, whatever, and they're like, oh, like it was just kind of like, he gave him the Iggy, like, it ain't bad.
Right.
I just busted my lip. Big, you know what I mean? Big deal. And I'm not necro butcher over it.
But it did make for something cool because you don't normally see somebody bleed from that spot. So obviously it's unique.
And it adds to Mikey's character, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that was the point of this match. I think watching it was they did a little bit of it when he was teaming with Cactus. That Mikey's, he's getting less and less of being a wimp or what have you. But during this match, watching this match, that was the point here. Is Mikey's developing more of a hardcore edge to it. It's just the evolution of his character, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's that. The blood thing was just a little bit of a
happy accident.
Yeah, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure Mikey didn't bitch about it. There's no chance that he bitched about it. And then at the end of the day, when Paul probably met him sometime after the final edit, was like, dude, that bloody mouth thing made the match better. Yep. And it ECW is full of whatever you just said, happy accident. Like that building was just a happy accident, just waiting to happen. Because
that's what we're gonna call the movie about ECW, a hardcore happy accident, the story of Extreme Championship Wrestling, starring Danny DeVito, and
it's amazing how many shows that they ran in that building and all the stuff that they did, and that everybody, not even just ECW, Combat Zone, Combat Jabron, I don't know, everybody who ran in that building and nobody died ever. Like, everybody virtually walked out of there. I was
going to say more people have died at a WWF show than at an ECW show.
Yeah, and it's like and they've done some of the most heinous stuff, but everybody walked out of there. The workers, unless you were doing an angle, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you were doing the stretcher or ambulance angle, but yeah, everybody left there on their own feet. And it's like, see y'all in 3 weeks. What else can we do here? And hopefully in 3 weeks they'll do some more upgrades. Because it was just amazing how the people that owned that building all of a sudden took an interest in that building when basically like ECW came in and kind of like squatted in the place.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, look, you got two options. You could either put some money back into this place and fix it up a little bit, or we can just keep coming here for free.
And breaking it more.
Yeah, because you can't lock the back doors. So, you got two options. And the guy was like, all right, well, we can work with this. And I don't know what he did, but he didn't do much.
Mikey Whipwreck winds up winning this match with a backslide on Paul Loria. Aaron, I know you don't have your notes, but did you have anything else that you remembered from the match that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, like when you were talking about that spot, like I said, I think what they were trying to do was, I think Laurie was trying to simulate like hitting Mikey in the neck with the bar of the chair and just caught his chin and fucked him up a little bit. And then the other note I had was, if you're watching this and you don't know what you're watching and you see Jason coming out in his blouse and his
blouse
and his rubber pants with Paul Loria, you're like, oh my God, this guy with these rubber pants is out here with his rent boy. What's going on?
Yeah. They were shiny pants. Like he put baby oil on them to boot. So he had leather pants. That's fine and all and dandy and all, but you're just a manager. You're the garnish to this match. You know what I mean? You're right on the side of the plate, and you come out with these. You had to take some baby oil and lather up your leather shiny pants.
Looks like you're wearing fruit roll-ups.
I feel like they should introduce these guys from the Grand Wizard's Woods.
It's how you recognize them. You shine a light, and it just beams off their baby oil that's on their leather pants, plastic pants in some people's cases. You remember the old suits she used? Oh, you don't remember that. You guys are old enough. The old suits she used to wear to lose weight. They were like gray and looked like aluminum foil.
I know what you're talking about.
You know, I used to have one, and I used to love the pants. Like they were like Zubas before Zubas, but it was like walking around on aluminum foil.
Like a big thing of Jiffy Pop.
Pretty much. Grand Wizard loved them.
Human Jiffy Pop.
Up next on the show, Joey talks about how the Sandman has suffered a concussion. And for those of you that have never seen the match, that's not the match that's on this show, but those of you who have never seen the match between Sandman and Cactus where Sandman actually gets this concussion, he is definitely fucking out of it. It is hilarious. I mean, it's retroactively kind of sad.
But have you ever watched the video of Sandman watching the video?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
You don't remember anything?
No, they said, do you remember this match? And he said no, because it's like a last man standing match between him and Cactus fucks him up right at the beginning of it. And Sandman's supposed to stay down for the 10 count, and he doesn't realize what he's doing, and his instinct is just to get up. So every time Mick hits him, he just keeps getting up because he's just instinctively standing up, and it's like the match.
So what did they do? Just no contest it?
I think he ends up finally end up just kind of keeping him down, and they count it out. But yeah, it's like
they just kept him down. Is that?
And I don't know if they're going to show us that match on the TV show or not. I mean, it's on.
If it is, it's going to be clipped to shit.
Yeah, it's on Cactus. It's on the Cactus Jack DVD that WWE did. That's where I saw it. But yeah, Sandman's completely out of it during the match. He doesn't have no idea what's going on.
I do like they say that they say Sandman has a concussion. That means he's going to be disabled for at least 21 days. I'm like, well, Sandman's been disabled for way more than 21 days.
But now it's official.
Yeah.
I mean, shit is real. They got Dr. Benny Boombots is on the case over here, and this shit they're going by the book.
Sandman's like, if you thought my knees were bad last week, right now you should have seen him last week.
Totally, fucking Sandman.
But his promo is really good. I thought he did a really good promo.
I don't know, Sandman is Sandman. Like it, Jesus. I don't know. There was a table spot that I made a note of. Aaron, maybe do you remember this?
Jack literally just hit Sandman with the table during this match.
No, I think the table was set up like outside, like it was standing up against like the turnbuckle or whatever, the ring post. And I think Sandman was gonna, or Jack was gonna throw like Sandman into it, and Sandman reversed it. And like the cameraman was behind the table. And when Jack hit the freaking table, he basically like the table, it didn't explode like break explode, but like because the way Jack hit it, it flung around to where the guy was standing behind him with the fucking camera. Like I almost thought it just took out the goddamn cameraman. That was pretty nice.
Yeah. But like I said, I had thought we had seen this, but
so did I.
Into it, I was like, I think it was a different one.
No, yeah,
I think I've seen all these.
The last one was in an actual like a arena. This one was more like a rodeo arena.
Yeah, this was in that Florida one. And like I said, at first I thought it was one we'd already seen, but then I started watching. I'm like, no, we hadn't seen this match yet. I did think it was funny that Sandman actually like legitimately fell off the
banister. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a boob.
Like he tried to get over that thing and fucking fell off, and Cactus had to run up to the top of the thing by himself. But the match itself, like I said, it wasn't bad. It was entertaining, and that crowd, like, it wasn't like Joey was like, "Oh, this thing's so hardcore," but like it wasn't.
It wasn't the main event.
Yeah, but it also wasn't the most hardcore thing I'd seen like so far.
I don't know. It was the special attraction match of basically a spot show.
Yeah, I was just saying, like those Florida people, that shit was like, oh my god. But if they would have done that in the ECW arena, it would just been like, that was all right.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But where was Hollywood John Tatum? And I would have popped huge for the Grand Wizard.
He's gearing up for his role as Eddie Gilbert.
You know how Philadelphia is, just anyway. And Florida wasn't the worst though. I mean, I thought the towns in Louisiana were worse than all of them. But then again, they also drew way less than all of them. They drew like in the small hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not even in like the 1250s or 900s or nothing like that. They drew like in the 300s, 250s, that kind of shit. You know, then people aren't going to be loud because you don't want the person next to you. You don't want the person next to you thinking you're a mark because because you're cheering and stuff. So you just stay quiet.
There's lots of like insane, crazy, reckless chair shots and stuff in this match. And the question that I wrote down again as asking a worker, and we're going back to 1995 here. And I know we didn't know what we know now about CTE and all that stuff, but from your perspective, Chad, thinking about what Sandman and Mick do in all of these matches, even back then, would you have looked at that as a worker and went, oh shit, that's fucking reckless? You know, I mean, again, like I said, hindsight 2020, we didn't know a lot back then about it. We knew concussions were concussions and all that, but as far as the brain damage and everything goes, like, I guess my question is, would you do the shit that they did?
Dude, that's funny you say that because I not only did I do that, I championed it. I embraced it. That's the way you take a chair shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why chair shots should be used for what they are used for. They should be used sparingly and not overdone because they do hurt. They don't kill you. I mean, you got to get hit really fucking hard with a chair over the head. You know what I mean?
Right.
For it to knock you out. Like even a Balls Mahoney chair shot, what you've seen what it does to the toughest guys, it just like cracks them. It ain't going to kill you. You know what I mean? It ain't the greatest thing in the world. I can just tell you that. But, you know, I took them and I did it like that all the time. It wasn't until later, much later on in my career, when the chair spots started fading out anyway, and they weren't anything to do with anything that I was doing, that I'd put a hand up. Or what I would like to do is I like to put my thumb in because I would like the people to see my hand sticking out where the chair is coming, so they really wouldn't think that I'm blocking the chair because they can see my hand, like with the palm of my hand. But I just got my thumb on my forehead because I know like the stupid little edge of that chair is going to, click me right there.
Right.
So I'd rather just bounce off my thumb first. But yeah, chair shots. We used to have these two guys down at the wrestling school, man. Their name they were students and they were going to be students forever. And their names were Doyle and Butterman. Like
sounds like a shitty band from the 70s.
That was their name, and they weren't even in the business. Like they came into the wrestling school named Doyle and Butterman, and Axel was doing that deal where he was the chair swinging freak. I know you've seen them chair shots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. They were doing a deal where they were like security for a show, and the finish was Axel was going to run out with the chair, and he was going to hit he was going to hit Butterman first, and he hauled off and he hit Butterman so goddamn hard. And as soon as he hit him, Doyle was turning around like all slow because he caught it out of the corner of his eye. He saw it. He turned around and you see him put his shoulders up like, oh. And Axel just split him in half. Just crushed the poor guy. And I remember, I have no idea. I don't think I had no business being outside, like at the ring while this happened. I think I just had to see it because I knew he was going to kill him. Oh my God. When that poor little Butterman, whatever, stopped, Joel turned around. Because
That's the name of the show. Poor little Butterman.
I mean, just imagine you're standing there, your back turned, and your partner is supposed to turn around, take a chair shot. You hear that chair shot, then it's your turn to turn around. But you heard Axel hit him with the chair. You know what I mean? And his back is turned to the guy. He had to hear this big thump. And he's like, oh.
It's coming for me.
Yep. And they're in the Hall of Fame just because of that. They took it. Doyle and Butterman.
Well, this match goes all over this rodeo arena in Florida, and Cactus winds up pinning the Sandman in the match. We come back. Joey Styles is interviewing the Sandman, who, funny little line, he says he's the picture of health. So even though he's got a concussion, he's the picture of health as he's puffing on his cigarette. And he says that since he has, as Aaron alluded to, a 21-day disabled list suspension, he can't wrestle Cactus Jack on the 25th of February, so Woman has found a replacement. And then, as Sandman leaves, he calls Joey Styles Todd Pettengill.
I'm tired of you, Todd Pettengill.
I didn't even catch that, man. Good pull on that one. I didn't even catch that.
And then after that, Joey runs down the upcoming dates for ECW and where they're going to be over the next couple of weeks. And then they show us the great shit from last week with Hack Myers, all that stuff that went down with him. It was great. It was great, but I didn't need to see it again. Yes, and the stuff with the lame ass young dragons who are not the young dragons. So then we cut to the ring. Paul Loria is in the ring, and he cuts a promo on Hack Myers, and Mikey Whipwreck talks about being the real giant of ECW, which of course brings out 911. Well, he says 911 isn't the giant; he is. And then we get your standard 911 choke slam segment.
I don't understand how this kid can say he's the giant. Like, he's smaller than everybody in the ring. That includes Bob Ortiz, Jason, Jim Molyneux,
Joey. Shorter than Joey?
Huh?
He's shorter. He's even shorter than Joey.
Joey Styles?
Yep. He's shorter than Stocky Balboa. It's.
How could he even get away with saying that?
But the choke slam is like the first choke slam is like the best looking one 911's ever done.
Well, the third choke slam, he literally just throws the guy across the ring.
Dude, I told you a million times, dude. Just one and done. If you can get one and done, and if you can get him to choke slam you good enough that you could roll out of the ring and not be there for two, you're doing yourself a favor. 2 may not kill you. 3's going to give you a different outlook on life. And 4 ain't worth the fucking money.
As I say, 4, you've shit your pants.
Yeah, you oosed yourself. Yeah, that's not good. But his first one's always great, man. I can't shit on him for that.
But yeah, this first one, like I said, it's the best one I've seen him do. Like, he has him up there for a minute, and Paul Loria is doing a good job helping him do it. I mean, there's not a lot of help for it because Paul Loria probably weighs about like fucking 140 pounds, but
yeah, what's he probably weigh? About $160, legitimately.
Yeah, it's a good looking choke slam though. That first one,
he walks all around with them.
Yeah,
and you see the stupid idiot in the front row with the tie dye on, and he's all like, "Yeah, he caught my eye for some reason." He's like trying to tell Al to fucking slam him. He's going to.
That's the point.
Because he's not going to carry him around for another month. You know what I mean? He's picked him up. He has to put him down at some point. And stupid dreadlocks guys like, yeah, come on, man. He looked like Chris Benoit before they found Nancy, with his eyes all bugging out and his hair and all. That's what I imagine Benoit looked like. Go back and watch the poor guy.
Well, overall, guys, what did we think of this episode of ECW?
Nothing happened other than that. I mean, other than the Mikey Paul Loria match, it was just kind of like there.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I didn't think it was the videos were fine. I just hate the WWE music. A lot of recaps, but it kept everything flowing. Nothing blew my mind.
Right, and it was kind of a weird episode. It's like you mentioned sometimes, Chatter, at the end of a taping, because this episode, again, they have a storyline reason why you didn't see Public Enemy, but there's no Public Enemy, there's no Raven, there's no Tommy Dreamer,
there's no Shane,
there's no Shane Douglas. So
yeah, it's whatever's left, whatever Paul can make out of the whatever the 9 minutes of footage is left that he hadn't aired. I'll just run some more shit that we already shown 4 times,
and we'll do another 911 choke slam.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be the wrap for this week's show of Reliving the Extreme, a Thanksgiving week edition, and we have a great cast for a movie for ECW, and I'm sure we'll think of more as the promotion evolves. But that being said, Aaron, any parting words for our listeners?
Just thanks for listening and have a good holiday. I appreciate it.
Chad?
Oh. Yeah, I have a parting word. What about Tom Boogaloo Jones as New Jack? You know who that is? Yeah, there you go. Tom Boogaloo Jones as New Jack. Don't forget to go on our webpage and whatever our page is, and then post whatever wrestlers you want to see Aaron and Nate play. FTR, that's who you two look like, kinda. If you guys had talent.
Revival the Extreme. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a great Thanksgiving.